Hello and welcome to another episode of the New American Town podcast. My name is Aimee Ross, and I am the director of Bike Bentonville, which operates underneath Visit Bentonville, our local tourism office. Our mission is to advertise and promote our city. And as the mountain bike capital of the world, cycling is a key part of everything we do. Today, I'm excited to have with me in the studio Allyson de la House, the chairwoman of Women of Oz, and Ashley O'Reilly, board member of Women of Oz. All right, ladies.
Hello, Aimee.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're so excited to get this conversation going. So let's jump right in and find out what Women of Oz is and what you guys are up to these days. Allyson, do you want to start and share with our audience how Women of Oz came to be?
So Women of Oz is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to get women on mountain bikes by breaking down barriers. And the barriers that we've identified is education, intimidation, and equipment. And so one by one, we're trying to help take away those barriers that are preventing people from getting in the sport of mountain biking. So in 2019, we were established, and being a member of the community, in the mountain bike community, there were pockets of women riding, and there was a woman in the community who stood up and said, I'm going to start this ride every Tuesday, and I'll be here at the same time, and I'm going to go learn how to ride these trails. And the group slowly started growing and growing to the point where we're having 40 women show up for this ride. And there was kind of a light bulb moment. If we're looking for these opportunities, other women are too. And so a group of leaders in the community got together and said, we're going to form this organization, and we're going to be the thread that kind of connects all these little pockets of women riding and create one organization where we are focused on education for women. And out of that, Women of Oz was born. So I really think it was just out of necessity. And I would love to also acknowledge that Aimee Ross is a founder of Women of Oz. So she was there at the beginning and helped us get this organization rolling. And so now the group, flash forward, we're entering year 3. We've had over 2,000 women participate in our programming, and we're just seeing a lot of opportunity for growth. So it's been a fun ride. We're really focused on creating a community and fellowship for women mountain bikers here in Northwest Arkansas.
I think that's such a great representation of how it all played out. And, as being one of those members in the room when that happened, it was really cool to see all of that to come together very authentically. And I think you guys have done a great job of carrying it forward since then.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
What I want to also mention is that Women of Oz, we offer a flagship ride the first Saturday of every month. So this is an opportunity for women to come out and meet other women riders and get involved in our programming. And we have this fundamentals clinic. It's like Mountain Bike 101, where to start. And that's offered at our flagships. It's for free. We just ask that you sign up in advance, and then we will show you how to brake and how to get on and off your bike and how to, how to use your pedals and just really get you comfortable for about an hour in the grass. And then we take you on a baby ride after that, just to apply those skills that you've learned. And the idea is that women are teaching other women. And then simultaneously, while this fundamentals clinic is happening, we have other ride levels going out from green all the way to the black advanced group that are being led and swept by other Women of Oz leaders. So it's just a great opportunity to see if mountain biking is your thing and start learning and get involved.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and you said that's the first Saturday of every month, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Awesome. We'll get to where you can find out all that information a little bit later, give our audience listeners that opportunity. So a major focus here in Bentonville, Arkansas, the mountain biking capital of the world, is the diversity in our trails and the riders. There truly is something for everyone. Your mission plays a significant role in that. Do you want to talk a little bit about why and how?
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission is to get women on mountain bikes by lowering those barriers that we've identified. And one of the things that we're seeing is there's a lot of riders that are newer and don't know where to get started. And that's where we come into play. And we're kind of your first touch to getting involved in mountain biking. So we cater to difference of skills, all from beginner to advanced. We have diversity in our riders. We have women, some as young as 15, all the way up to women in their 70s. And then there's really different types of riding. And I think I'm going to throw it to Ashley to talk about that, the diversity in the trails here and the types of riding that people are doing.
Yeah.
I think it's important because, one, myself moving here 4 years ago, I found a community that is growing with the mountain biking, but more men. And when I came here, I honestly had met 4 women that mountain bike. So as we've created Women of Oz and now rolling out of 2.5 years into year 3, I see that it's so important. We have grown in such a positive way to create a community with all these women. And we empower them to get out on the trail, whether they may feel a little uncomfortable by themselves. They still know the familiar sense of the faces of the women that they see in the flagship rides. So that kind of enlightens them a little bit to feel safe. And then once you get out on your own, it's nice because you think, well, I've been on this trail. I feel comfortable. I feel empowered. I feel this is my community. And they also want to get the other women that they're meeting outside of the flagship, their friends, their neighbor. And it's just a trickle effect. So it's a trickle effect with all these women in such a positive, powerful way to create something that's long lasting. And then we teach our little girls, and it's never ending. So I think it's a great way for Women of Oz to be in this community and show that this is a good impact for the community. This is a good impact for women all around. So, and I see our outreach outside of Arkansas now is huge. We have lots of women traveling from Kansas City, St. Louis, Nebraska. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's really cool to see that you guys have a lot of depth and breadth outside of just Northwest Arkansas.
Yes.
So that's great. More specifically for our audience, can you tell us more about the programming that you offer? You mentioned the flagship rides are a big part of that and what goes into that. What else are you doing as an organization to help break down those barriers and introduce mountain biking to more ladies and making them feel empowered and comfortable?
I think one of the biggest things that we offer is an unintimidating culture. That's the first thing. You come, you feel welcomed, you feel invited, and women, if they have a good time, they're going to come back. And so that's a huge piece. So that's step one. We want to make sure that it's approachable and that, I think there's this idea that a mountain biker is this hardcore, padded up, full face helmet rider. And I found most of the women that I ride with, that's not how we ride. That's not how we look. It really is for everyone. I think the bike is for everyone, and the mountain bike specifically can be for anyone. So shattering kind of that image of what people think of when they think of a mountain biker is part of what Women of Oz does. A lot of us we're moms, or we're young professionals, or maybe we're retired and we're looking for a new hobby. So I kind of think shattering that stereotype has been helpful in our programming. So we offer that flagship, and that's always our gift to the community. And we welcome anyone who's interested in mountain biking and identifies as a woman to come and join us. And then secondly, we have these channels on these social media message boards called GroupMes, where women are connecting. And we have in our green group 483 members. And these women are posting, hey, I'm going for a ride today. Come join me. It's just a great way to connect this community. So we feel like we've got these pickup rides happening where women are going out and connecting together. And then we're also offering some private programming. So you can come and get more secondary skills. That fundamentals is your entry point, but if you're looking to grow and advance, there's private programming you can come do through Women of Oz. So we're really looking forward to some education initiatives as we enter year 3.
Yeah, I think I recently have been seeing more of that education messaging coming out from you guys, especially on your social channels with some of the videos of, winter riding, how to dress. And we obviously just got like 10 inches of snow over the last like
Yes.
week and a half, and it was great to see a video kind of talking about like where to ride after a snow melt like that, and the trail systems and stuff, and really helping those women understand
Yeah.
and feel empowered to make those choices themselves and have that knowledge. And I think that was pretty cool. When I saw that the other day, I was like, this is great. You guys are really moving forward.
Yeah, every Tuesday we try to put out a video called Teachable Tuesday, and we'll give you some sort of tip. Maybe it's a certain power pedal or a position or something, a skill to work on, or maybe it's just going to be how to dress. So Ashley Patterson and Jennifer Clark, such a talented team who are putting those together, and it's been really fun to watch. And there's always a little hint of humor too. So check those out on Tuesdays on our Facebook group.
Awesome. Great. Ashley, why do you believe that groups and organizations like Women of Oz are important for the cycling industry and the local community?
Well, that's a great question. When we first started, like Allyson had mentioned, we had seen the need for something that's positive, that can kind of get women outside and focus on a different direction. Because as a female or a mother or a young adult, you have such a powerful, positive impact. And cycling is that. It's you're outside, you're creating something positive, whether it's healthy, but you also get to meet a lot of different people in your community. And most of my friends I've met on a bike. And those are my long-lasting friends I still have to date. And I think it's important for organizations like this in the community because in the same sense, while we create all of these impacts with bringing women on bikes, these women are supporting local businesses through the bike shops. And we have such great sponsors. We have 5 local bike shops that help out quite a bit with Women of Oz. So whether that is discounted rentals, getting these women comfortable so they don't have to borrow a bike. And we have a lot of restaurant support as well. So I think it's a give back. As much as we give to the community, these women see, and they're also putting forth the effort too with the local bike shops and the restaurants. Yeah. So it's a full circle.
That's awesome. I mean, as someone who's spent the last 15 years of my career in the cycling industry, which is typically male dominated, coming into this community and then seeing the growth of Women of Oz and some of the other different groups around here, and just that diversity and the amount of women that you see riding here is so remarkable. And Allyson, to your point about like even down to the fact of like how you dress, like this is who you are, and it's changing some of those perspectives for everyone, even on a national scale. I think when they're looking around to seeing what's happening.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I remember when it was an anomaly to see another woman riding. You'd be like, hey, there's one in the woods.
Or
I see
you
her.
chase him down on your bike. I'm going to be her friend.
Totally. You'd be like, hey, what's your name? What's your name? Where are you going? So, but now it's like you go out and you just see these packs of women, and it is just so empowering. And I really do think that if you create a leader on the bicycle, you're creating a leader in your community and in the home and at your workplace. So it's just one of those things, besides all those wonderful health benefits and what you can give back to the community, you really are creating leaders and people. So it's just been such a neat organization to be a part of.
Yeah.
Agree.
So awesome. So we've talked about the flagship rides and the other small group rides that are coming together on a weekly basis. And the social gathering is a big part of the foundation of Women of Oz after your flagship rides. How did you guys pivot during COVID and not lose momentum and connectivity to those women?
Well, COVID did take a little bit of a hit with mountain biking in general. People, I think, were cautious and wondering how you could still get out and be safe. So for Women of Oz, we first took a step back and thought, okay, how can we still do what we do and have women feel comfortable with the uncertainty of not knowing what COVID was last year. So we decided that it would be important to break everyone up. And when you break everyone up, it creates also positive things too, because while we've only been in growth for this year and a half, we've been consistent with keeping these women on the same trails and focusing on slaughter pen. So while they're familiar with the trails just in downtown Bentonville, it gave us an opportunity to break up into small groups of 5, 6, and 7 with a ride leader, and having the ride leader take these women out on different trails. So it's good because I don't think they would get out on their own to these different trails. And with a ride leader that is more experienced, it just created more opportunity and comfortability for these girls. So that was a positive thing. And so far it's been good. And this will be our 3rd flagship that we're now spreading out still, since we've kind of gotten back into, since COVID, feeling comfortable and safe in a smaller group.
Yeah, so instead of, originally the flagship was everyone meets in one place, we go ride, then we come together for the social. So if we do a social, it'll be at an outdoor venue. But what we've done is we've had you meet your ride leader at a trailhead, and we've kind of dotted it through the trail system. And this is really to Ashley O'Reilly's credit. She helped come up with the idea of let's separate these women and utilize the rest of Oz trails. I mean, there's 300 miles of trail. So why are we not utilizing that and showing these women these other routes that honestly, the only way I find it out is if someone takes me like Ashley. So it was just such a great opportunity to really spread out and take advantage of the trail system. So in the end, it's really been a plus for us.
It has.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate, and I think the community appreciates you guys being a leader in that and thinking through that and really coming up with something that, remained positive and gave people that sense of confidence and comfort. So it's great.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying we've made a few friends since COVID happened, a few new friends. So, and we want to meet them all.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm sure at one point when the flagships can come back around and the social gatherings and everything where it is something, I guess, more normal again, I'm sure you'll see a lot of those faces there.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. Right now, keep the high fives to a minimum, but we'll be ready soon.
Awesome. So can each of you give me like a highlight or a moment that's been your favorite with Women of Oz here in the community of Bentonville?
I don't think I could pinpoint one specific moment, but I do think it's when you're seeing these pockets of women connect that it's just so impactful. And I see these friendships that have blossomed out of mountain biking, and now the families are friends, and it really just is this connectivity in the community. So I think the bike is a tool, and I think in this community, it is a tool that threads us together. So it's been really fun to watch these connections happen.
Ashley?
I think with Women of Oz growing, and in the beginning it was more mountain bike focused, and now with Women of Oz just being bike specific, it's also opened up friendship for gravel biking, for road biking, for just greenway biking. And it's been amazing to see just how many friendships I've made just off of the trail and maybe on the gravel or just biking around town and hanging out. So
Yeah.
I think it's opened up a lot of doors for a lot of women to build excitement in riding in general and not just mountain biking.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, I will say I'm guilty of the gravel gravitational pull.
I am as well.
Like, that group got started on the group me thing, and now it's like other groups are splitting off from that and stuff, and it's been really fun because what I enjoy about that in particular, kind of going back to the trail system, is like you find these other women to ride with that have completely different routes.
Yes.
That you kind of get stuck sometimes in going on your same old classic thing. And so like it's been super fun to connect with some of those women and like do their rides.
And that's the drive.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you find all these really cool places that you would have never seen before because you're like, yeah, I don't know about
Those are my favorite moments. The hype and the new routes and the new rides and which bike should I take out?
Right. Because once you get into one, there's always two, and then there's three.
Next thing you know, you've got 5 bikes and nowhere for your car.
Right. Yep. All right. Well, as you guys are going into year 3 of Women of Oz, how can, I guess it's kind of a little bit of a 2-part question. How can visitors to our community participate, and also like let them know how they find you, like where they can find you to get there?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook, so Women of Oz NWA Facebook group. Join us. You'll see all of our, or on Instagram, you can see pretty much any events or anything that we're doing was on there. And our website is WOZ, WOZNWA. We have our flagships listed on there. And then from there, you can also find resources like potential Women of Oz routes, local bike shop community partners and sponsors, Bike NWA, and Visit Bentonville, FAST, all links to all these other organizations here that might be great tools if you're coming to visit. But I would say start by following us on the socials and seeing what events we have coming up, and then please just come. You don't really need anything, just a bike and a helmet. And if you need a bike, again, see our community bike shop partners. But we want to teach you, and we want you to come join us. So just show up. If you're visiting, come to a ride. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And for your flagship rides, where can they go to sign up and register for those? Do those get posted on a monthly basis, Facebook and your website?
They're always going to be the first Saturday of the month. In the summer months, it's in the morning, and in the cooler months, it's going to be in the afternoons. We're always announcing that through Facebook. We're on Eventbrite, but I would just say, while it is free, there are limited spots, so please sign up as soon as you see that post, or get on the wait list if you don't make it. And I think this next ride, we're anticipating 150 women. So it's just really quite a sight to see that many women out riding together, supporting each other and propping each other up. It's just, I don't think there's enough of that in this world. So come see it for yourself, because it's just a neat thing to be a part of.
Agree. Yeah. And if you're a new rider, our fundamentals clinic will be the best to jump into first.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring a friend, bring your mom or your sister, your neighbor. You don't have to come alone. I know that can be intimidating. I promise we're all nice. But yeah, just come try it. I think you'll be surprised how much you enjoy it. So
awesome.
And on a programming note, Aimee, I did want to mention too that for our next flagship, when we talk about diversity in riding, we're going to be doing some specific enduro rides, which, if you're not familiar with enduro, that means going down, versus cross country, which is more of just riding single track for long distances. So we're really focusing on that enduro. And then also we have 2 local pros that are going to be leading rides for our black. Crystal Anthony and Sammy Reynolds are going to be there, which I don't know, it's a pretty neat opportunity to say you've ridden with a pro. And these 2 ladies are very talented community members.
As pro as it gets.
Yeah, it's great to see people like that moving into this community and finding, the trail system and the connectivity and the community and friends that they're making, and making this place their home and their training grounds.
Yes.
To go out into the rest of the world and share that story. So
yeah, and
that's
just
great.
to volunteer your time like that to come and lead women, it's a really neat thing. So
It's cool to
we're
see
pretty
that.
stoked to have them.
You guys are certainly doing a lot, and it's really cool to see a place like that in the community for women to connect with and help get them out, feel empowered to be able to then go out and explore their own experience through cycling as they continue to grow. So we appreciate all that you do for the mountain bike community in that space here.
Thank you.
Thanks. One thing I want to make note of is that this is an all volunteer organization. So there's 8 women at the board level. But before that, people like yourself, Aimee, were involved in getting this going, and Bike NWA and FAST and Trailblazers. These guys have laid the foundation for us to come in and create this group, but I think it's really important to acknowledge all of the ride leaders. We have 50 women that act as volunteers that show up the first Saturday every month and give a half a day to take other women riding. And so I just think what a neat gift to the community, and to see these women come and give their time. A lot of them have gone and gotten educated. We do an internal ride leader course, or they've gotten their certification to be a mountain bike guide. So it's just a beautiful thing to see when people invest in their community. So I want to acknowledge all those women who show up and give their time to lead other women. And that's part of what makes this work.
Yeah. Great. Awesome. Well, Allyson and Ashley, thank you so much for spending time with us today in the mountain bike capital of the world,
Thanks for
Bentonville,
having
Arkansas.
us. Yeah, it's great to be here.
The diversity we have here in our city from riders and trail experiences, and we'll look forward to what continues to happen as we grow. And for all of you for planning your next trip to Bentonville, remember that there's a cycling experience here for everyone, and we can't wait to see you in 2021. And make sure that you follow us on our Visit Bentonville social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and including our Bike Bentonville social channels on Facebook and Instagram. For more information on Bentonville, make sure that you tune into our other podcast this month with Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. This is one you won't want to miss. Thanks again for joining us today on the New American Town podcast, and we'll see you next time.